Good day everyone. My name is Cadet Archaga John Dexter from University of Cebu, MTC Campus, Section 3-5. And I will be the one to discuss about the Colregs Rule number 4. So, Section 1, Conduct of Vessels in any condition of visibility. Rule 4, Application. Rules in this section apply in any conditions of visibility, meaning the above section applies to all vessels and under any conditions of visibility. That is good visibility as well as when under poor visibility, whatever the cause may be. The importance of the topic is to aim the collision regulations. Colregs is to establish rules to avoid collision at sea. At the end of this session, the student shall be able to demonstrate and apply the rules in this section in any condition of visibility. Meaning, the above section applies to all vessels and under any conditions of visibility. That is good visibility as well as when under poor visibility, whatever the cause may be.
I'm Deck Cadet Anja and I'm assigned to report the topic Rule 5 Lookout. Every vessel should at all times maintain a proper lookout, sight, hearing, as well as by all available means appropriate in the prevailing circumstance and conditions as to make a full appraisal of situations and the risk of collisions. Proper lookout. Explanation. Maintaining a proper lookout at all times is an important part of safe watchkeeping. This includes posting a seaman as a lookout from dusk till dawn and sometimes by day, especially when the visibility is restricted. Requirements for safe watchkeeping were laid down in the Chapter 8 of the National Convention Standard of Training, Certification, and Watchkeeping for Seafarers. The lookout man should, if possible, be stationed forward unless weather conditions make this possible. To this attention will not be distracted a further advantage as she or may be likely to hear fog signals coming from ahead. Other factors need to have seaman immediately available in case of emergency, and benefit of being able to communicate directly with a lookout man should be remembered. Watch officer or the helmsman. The rank of the seniority of the helmsman vary on small vessels such as fishing vessels and yacht. The functions of the helmsman are combined with that of the skipper on a larger vessels. There is a separate officer on the watch who is responsible for the safe navigation of the ship and give orders to the helmsman. The OOW or the sole lookout must ensure the lookouts clearly understanding their duties and the system of reporting. All reports must be passed to the OOW or the master has taken charge of the bridge, and if a pilot is on board, to the pilot. That's all. Thank you.
Good day everyone. My name is Cadet Arkiza Rodel, Section 3-5 in UCMTC from Group 2, and I'm the one who was assigned to report the rule number 6, safe speed from Colregs. Every vessel shall at all times proceed at a safe speed so that she can take proper and effective action to avoid collision and be stopped within a distance appropriate to the prevailing circumstances and conditions. In determining a safe speed, the following factors shall be among those taken into account by all vessels. The state of visibility. So the state of visibility, like cruising situation, you need to use your radar so that you can determine the distance of the other vessels, so you can take a proper and effective actions to avoid collision. The traffic density, including concentration of fishing vessels or any other vessels. The maneuverability of the vessels with special reference to stopping distance and turning ability in the prevailing conditions. At night, the presence of background lights such as from shore lights or from backscatter of her own lights. The state of wind, sea, and the current, and the proximity of navigational hazard. The drought in relations to the available depth of water. Additional by vessels with the operational radar. The characteristics, efficiency, and limitations of the radar equipment. Any constraints imposed by the radar range scale in use. The effect on radar detections of the sea state, weather, and the other sources of interference. The possibility that small vessels and ice may not be detected by radar at ADK range. The number of locations and movement of vessels detected by radar. The more exact assessment of the visibility that may be possible when radar is used to determine the range of vessels or other objects in vicinity. So all the time you need to use your radar so you can detect the positions of the other vessels and their distance to your vessels. So as you can see the radar, you can see your positions, your latitude, longitude, and also your speed, your bearing, your true bearing, your true course, and etc. So use your radar always so that you can see your speed and the positions of the other vessels and their distance to your vessels, and always take a proper and effective actions to avoid collision. So always apply Colregs rule number 6, safe speed, so you can take a proper and effective actions to avoid collisions. That's all. Thank you.
Rule number 7. Risk of collision. Every vessel shall use all available means appropriate to the prevailing circumstances and conditions to determine if risk collision exists. When you say collision, it means having of an object. There are times that we don't know collision happened. Some cause of collision are falling overboard, capsizing, swamping, sinking, or running. But the main cause of an auto collision is distracted driving, improper turns, or speeding. To avoid collision in a boat while on board, we should always maintain a watch. Understand marine navigation rules. Understand the implication of speed. Keep your radio on underway so that you have a safety aboard. And you must use a proper made by a radar equipment if fitted and operational, including long-range scanning to obtain warning of risk of collision, and radar plotting or equivalent systematic observation of detected objects. It covers the use of radar. Select what are the display better suited to the operating conditions. Next is plotting is essential. but not required in other means available. Assumptions shall not be made on the basis of scanty information. So, especially scanty radar information requires full, proper use of radar, but also warns against relying on it. Next is distances magnify small errors. So errors are almost inevitable because of the imprecision of observations made from moving vessel. Many collisions avoidance continue to occur because officers on watch based on their actions on faculty assumptions. As long as there is doubt, assumed risk of collision exists. In determination a risk of collision exists, the following considerations shall be among those taken into account. Such risk shall be deemed to exist if the compass bearing when approaching the vessel does not appreciably change. This fact is the most important. If the bearing changes for a ship at an appreciable range, then the risk factor is less. Next is a small change should therefore be viewed with the suspicion and a doubt rise in the mind of the observer. Such risk may sometimes exist when an appreciable bearing change is evident, particularly when approaching a very large vessel or a tow, as when approaching vessel at close range. As mentioned above, the bearing change should be very evident. However, sometimes this appreciable large change may not hold true for observations of large vessels which subtend significant angle at the observer. The same holds true for vessels that in a close range, or in a vessel in a tow where the entire tow and tow presents a very large object.